there, it's me, Michelle. How you doing today? It's 2026. I can't believe it. It's a whole brand new year. I hope you guys had a nice time away, or like if you did anything fun maybe in the last couple weeks. I know I had a lot of distractions, family stuff, and just taking a little bit of a break, taking a little bit of a time off. That's always really important, right? But I always find that it's kind of rough getting back into the swing of things after you've taken a little break, right? I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but you get off of your normal, way of doing things. You have some distractions, you have some time off, and it's all sort of like hard to get back into the swing of things. At least for me, maybe not for you. But anyways, as I said, I'm Michelle. If you're new here, I'm with Treecat, the only cross-listing automation, inventory management, data migration, and now AI listing software service for resellers and sellers that is pay as you sell. Sometimes we talk about Treecat stuff. Sometimes we just talk about reselling stuff in general. And today, I just need a little bit of a motivation, right? A little pep talk, which I myself am in need of right now because I'm having a hard time getting back into the groove. I need to get my groove back. I need to get my mojo back, right? So if you're anything like me and you're trying to get that mojo back, get back on a schedule, I've got some ideas. And I feel like there's sort of an I as you know, if you follow me and if you watch my other stuff, I didn't make any kind of grand sweeping New Year's resolutions this year. I just didn't, because I felt like I was going to approach things differently this year. And so that's what I wanted to talk about, is sort of my 4 pillars of what I am looking to do, or how I am looking to do them, or what I'm doing, and how sort of I'm approaching things. So what is the first thing that I did? Well, there's four pillars, right? I'll talk about those 4 pillars: sourcing, listing, inventory management / shipping, and your daily goals. Now, daily goals, it doesn't have anything to do with a resolution. It has to do with step-by-step incremental goals that you want to achieve on a daily basis, and maybe even weekly or monthly basis, or even quarterly. But I'm focusing on daily, and I'm focusing on my word of the month. My word for the month of January is consistency, because I need to get back into being consistent. I got off track of being consistent. It happens during the holidays, right? And sometimes you need a little bit of a break. You need a little bit of a disruption of your daily, your daily situation. And that's healthy, right? So anyways, I wanted to talk about the first thing I did to sort of get myself back in the groove, getting my mojo back, right? We are getting our mojo back, and we're doing it because we have to, because it's 2026 and it's a whole new year. There's whole new opportunities. There's a lot to be excited about. And the time is now. It's already the 3rd. It's already the 3rd of January. My goodness. All right. So the first thing I did is I got an old school planner. And I know this is completely old school, but sometimes you need something tangible. Now, I do a lot of stuff with, on my computer, online, in terms of managing things. But sometimes having an actual tangible planner is helpful. If you come from, old school times where we did everything in planners, and then we all got away from it and everything was online and on our phones and CRM and blah, blah, blah. You got away from using old school tangible planners. This was $10 on Amazon. It wasn't expensive. And it just gives me a way to visually kind of look and say, okay, what's happening today? What are my top 3 goals? Because what I feel the importance is deciding what I'm going to do every day of those pillars, right? The sourcing, the listing / sourcing, right? Listing, shipping and inventory management, and the daily goals, right? Well, let's just say out of those daily goals are written in here. So I'm saying today, out of those things, am I sourcing today? No, I'm not sourcing today. Am I shipping today? Absolutely, I'm shipping. That's the very first thing that has to happen. Every morning, I'm shipping first. That's the priority. Am I listing today? Am I cross-listing? What's happening with that? And that may include doing photography. Am I doing any inventory management today? So that's what I write in my planner. What are the top, just 3 things that you want to get accomplished every day? 3 things, okay? And in terms of my word, which is consistency, and you know what? I might as well do some photography while I'm babbling at the mouth. In terms of photography, so you want to make sure that you're writing down top 3 goals that you want to accomplish. Just 3. That's all you have to do is 3. Don't make things more challenging for yourself. That's why my word for the month isn't hustle. It's consistency, because I am going to pledge to myself that every day I make 3 goals and I achieve 3 goals. Okay. And I know the first goal is going to get accomplished. The shipping, that will get accomplished. That's going to happen. So it's kind of like check, right? As soon as I'm done shipping, check it off. And then I decide, okay, am I going to batch up a bunch of photos today? Am I going to just list stuff that's in my draft bank? Because by the way, I spent some time doing a big draft bank. And I think I'm going to get away from draft banking because that's kind of the old way I was doing things. So I actually did a little bit of an experiment, and I went back to the days of yore when I would do a draft bank, and then I would put the items in there using my phone, right, onto eBay. So I did a draft bank on eBay, and then when I was ready to launch it, I would just go in and pop the photos in, edit the photos in eBay, and then launch it, and then it would get pulled into Treecat. Well, guess what? I don't have to do that anymore, and I'm not going to be doing that anymore because I went back to it and I was like, this takes forever compared to the AI listing. So for sure, there's an absolute time savings automating some of this stuff. You just have to, and that's motivating to me as well, because of those pillars, you're not going to be able to necessarily automate sourcing, but I've kind of done that because I've gotten away from doing as much retail arbitrage, and I have the inventory come to me, whether that's online sourcing, whether that's ordering a huge big pallet and then, eating off that pallet for, several months. I'm not doing as much shopping, quote unquote, in-person shopping. So there are ways to make that sourcing pillar more automated. I guess you could call it automated, easier on yourself. But I know that, it's obviously fun. That's the fun part of the job, is the sourcing. And so I do still get out there and physically shop, but it's just not as frequently, because my goal with my reselling is to really make it as turnkey as possible, because it is a side hustle for me. It's not my full-time job. It's a side hustle. And I've been able to sustain this side hustle, and it's been there for me for several years, through lots of ups and downs in my life, through being a caretaker for my children, through in between different jobs and things like that. So I see it as a long-term sustainable thing for me. And so, it's important that I look at how many ways, I don't know what I did with my phone. I'm not going to be able to do any photographs while I'm talking with you. Darn it. Okay, well, that's my bad. Unless Mr. Treecat, you can go grab my phone and bring it to me. That'd be helpful. Then I could do some, let's just have a little fireside chat, shall we? So what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, essentially, I've looked at my pillars and I've decided, can I automate any of these things? And when I realized that I could automate parts of the sourcing, I started to do that more, because I just want to do as little work possible with my reselling. It's not my main thing. It's a side hustle, and for so many of you, it's also a side hustle. It's not your main thing, but it's sort of a. Oh yes, you got my phone. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry about that, guys. It is a side hustle for so many of us. And so we want to spend as less time doing the side hustle as we can, right? And even if it's a full-time gig, you want to constantly try to maximize or minimize the time you're spending, right? So that you can maximize sort of your time per hour, your cost per hour that you make, right? We constantly are seeing our margins get squeezed year by year, the post office, the fees that the marketplaces are taking. And so we're always looking to sort of optimize in terms of how we do things. So my big thing was I've already figured out the sourcing thing. I've got the sourcing thing pretty locked down. And so that's, but for those of you that are like, still wanting to do a lot of retail arbitrage, this is the month. And that's another thing that's quite motivating is the months of January and February are so much fun if you're into retail arbitrage, because there's all the big sort of stores like your Rosses and your TJ Maxxes and your Marshalls and your Nordstrom Racks and stores like that are having big clearance sales in the months of January and February. And that's kind of the one exception that I make for myself. And some, and also maybe some of the Christmas clearance stuff, which that's already kind of run its course. But now we're moving into the opportunities for retail arbitrage, and that's super fun for me. So I do spend some time doing that kind of retail arbitrage still, because it's just fun. And it also gives you exposure to new product ideas. And one of the things that I think, and actually, you know what I'll put down in the description, I'll put down, I talked about this back in December about all the different opportunities, the sales. And I think I have a blog post about it as well. Did I do a blog post about it? Anyways, about the retail arbitrage and how excited I was, right? Because I was looking at getting gift cards and then sort of parlaying those into the January, February clearance events that were happening. So I'll put that in a link in the description. But that can be motivating, right? That can be kind of getting you back into your groove because you're excited about hitting all these sales. And the cool thing about doing that kind of thing once a year is that you do get exposed to some other new items that you might want to try selling. Because not all of us, some of us are, everything sellers. Some of us have niches, and sometimes you want to experiment and take some risks with new types of inventory, with new types of, areas of selling. This used to be called Terapeak. Now it's called eBay Research. But you really do need to make sure, if you haven't been doing this, make sure you're checking the sell-through rates of items, right? So I was looking at, I found an Elomi bra, and I wanted to see, what the sold comps were. So the average sell price, $28. The average active price, $33. So now I know I'm going to list that Elomi bra. I listed it way too cheap. So I'm going to go back and change my price on that, because if you don't do your product research, you could be underselling, underpricing things. So just make sure now that margins are getting squeezed a little bit more every year we do this, that you are just really optimizing everything you can and using eBay's Terapeak, now it's called Research. But anyways, using this to really check the comps and the sell-through rate. Like these have these commando. I found these commando shapewear. This was in one of my palettes, and it weighs literally nothing. And I'm very excited to list this because it's active listing price $43, sold listing price $26. It's got a 10% sell-through rate, so I'm not mad about that for sure. And with the Elomi bra, additional, let's see here, what's the solds on that? 19% sell-through rate. So that's a very good bra brand. And if I can find more of those, I'm going to do that. Because my bread and butter are the Cash Chic Lane brand, but I'm kind of looking to expand into some other, brands. And so for me, checking out some of the retail arbitrage, I don't want to buy a whole palette, right, or from one brand unless I know, if I've done some research. So make sure you're doing your research. All right, back to, okay, excellent. So, this is a lot, right? We're talking about a lot of stuff. I'm all over the place. because I'm excited. I'm excited about 2026, guys. This is like a whole new year with whole new opportunities. And I've definitely, as you probably have, started automating more, right? So we talked about the sourcing and some awesome new opportunities, right? In the months of January and February, make sure to check out, the clearances at TJ Maxx and Marshalls and, Nordstrom Rack and whatever's in your local area. But a lot of the big companies have their yellow and red tag sales coming up in the next month. Now, starting January 6th through February timeframe. So sourcing, that's the first pillar. Second pillar is listing. And I'm telling you, like I said, I went and did a little bit of an experiment. And I started, I went back to just to see, just to kind of remind myself what things were like before I started using our AI listing beta. And I don't think I'm going back. The draft bank of my future is photos. And so doing batch photos, spending one day out of my week. So I will maybe it's not gonna be Monday. Monday is my big shipping day. So Monday, I'm probably not going to be doing batch photos, but maybe on Tuesday, I do a thing of batch photos. And then the rest of the week, I can just list from those batch photos. So really the photos become my draft bank, essentially. It is just so much easier to put in the photos, have the AI do everything for you. And then at the same time, it's doing everything for you on all of the platforms. So then when you list it, you just review everything. When you list it, you're listing it to all of them, right? It eliminates the need for cross-listing. You can still do cross-listing, but anyways, automate your listing, people. We still have a few bugs to work out on our AI listing feature, but my gosh, it is a game changer. And it really changes the math. Like I told you before, I started listing a bunch of stuff that I had not wanted to list before, got those things up in no time. They're selling, and they're selling. It's amazing. So I do have to say though that with listing, I do feel like you do have to be consistent, and so that's why my word for the month is consistency. And I'm even noticing, like I just got so excited. I've just been listing so much, right? And I'm not trying to chase volume. I'm really not, but it's just so easy. It's so easy to do this listing that I've just been listing more. And I think I want to become more consistent with it though. And instead of listing like 50 in one day, maybe I spread that out and use like I said, use the photos just as a draft bank, essentially. So consistency is key with regards to listing. And honestly, photographs become more important than ever. And especially batch photos. You really need to personally, I'm really leaning into batch photos because they are such an important part of the listing experience going forward for me using our new AI listing program. Let's see. So pillar number 3 was about inventory management and shipping. I'm also using automation for my inventory management because I use Treecat, and it does the sales detection and then auto delists. So if it sells on one platform, then it auto delists for me, right? And so that's made my life a lot easier in terms of managing my industry across multiple marketplaces. So yeah, those are the main pillars: sourcing, the listing, the inventory management and shipping. And then, of course, having daily goals and, honestly, a monthly word. And so I'd be curious to know what your monthly word is. Are you trying to get more consistent this month? I am. Are you setting up daily goals for yourself? Do you have more than 3? I try to stick to 3. I'm not trying to overwhelm, right? Because like I said, this is part-time for me. And I'm trying to make this as turnkey as possible. And I think that's the key. And I think that's the key to sustainability. And that's how I've been able to sustain this for so long, is I make it sustainable for me. So maybe that's my other word, is I also want to focus on sustainability, right? That's my sub word. My first word, for the month is consistency. And just two is just to remember that I'm in this for the long term. I'm in this for sustainability, right? Because this is for me something that is just another income stream, right? And I think it's kind of important these days to have multiple income streams. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think it's more important than ever, right? You know, to have several different income streams, because you just never know, right? You just never know. So guys, I want to know how you guys are approaching getting your mojo back. So put it in the comments if you are so bold as to how you're going to get your mojo, or how you are getting your mojo back, or how you've already started getting your mojo back in 2026. Have you guys already started trying to figure out ways to get your mojo back? I know I was all over it because I wanted to make sure that I had a plan. No, I'm not going to make a huge, resolution. I'm just not going to do that anymore. It doesn't make sense for me, because honestly, I've done that. I've been there and done that. And I don't want to burn myself out. I want to be sustainable, right, with what I'm doing. So anyways, let's do some photos. I'm going to make sure that I clean my, I did order a cone because I want to start doing some, jewelry, getting my jewelry listed. And I ordered one of those cones off of Amazon, and my gosh, it's taken like 2 weeks to get here because I ordered an open box cone, light cone. And so it was probably someone who was like it's not coming from like an Amazon warehouse like FBA. It's coming from like a fulfilled by merchant person. So it's taking like 2 weeks to get here. Gosh, we get so spoiled, don't we, by ordering things on Amazon when we have Prime. That's tough. It's tough for us non-Amazon sellers. I mean, I still do some things with Amazon. I have merch on demand, or merch. Yeah, I guess it's called merch on demand. It's print on demand. And if you are interested in one of these cool Treecat shirts, you can get one for yourself. I only charge $15. I am basically selling them at cost. So what you do is you go onto Amazon, you type in the search treecat.io, and I've got like 3 or 4 different styles. I've got this basic one. This is like the OG Treecat shirt. And I've got one that talks about pay as you sell, and I have a new one for AI listing. And I even have the, actually, no, I don't have the sweatshirts anymore. I took those off because those are for internal only. But if you by popular demand, if you want me to put the sweatshirt on, I will. They're more expensive though. Honestly, they're like close to $30. But the t-shirts are really cheap. They are 100% cotton, so they will shrink, but they have them in women's sizes, they have them in men's sizes, and they have them in plus sizes. They go up to like 5X. So that's pretty cool. And they have them in children's too. So if for whatever reason you wanted to show your support and go order one of my shirts, I think I get like 30 cents commission. It's like I'm basically giving them away essentially. But yeah, so check out the merch on Amazon. I designed them all myself. Very proud of that. But anyways, yeah, we get really spoiled, with Amazon. I kind of wish that USPS was a little bit faster. Grand Advantage, I was excited when Grand Advantage came along because it was cheaper. And but gosh, they're raising the prices yet again for Grand Advantage, and it's taking forever. Gosh, Grand Advantage can take up to 10 days sometimes. And Poshmark recently changed over to Grand Advantage, and that's been kind of, I guess, good for the consumer. But if you're a Poshmark buyer and you're used to getting, a lot of Poshmark buyers are like, hey, I used to get items, within 3 days, because Poshmark used to have priority only. It was only priority. And so it was super easy to get, those items really quickly. Oops, I don't want to block my mic here. So I'm not sure how I feel about the changes that Poshmark has been making. I suppose, you have to be competitive. But it might be nice if they had options for shoppers that are willing to pay more. But my gosh, priority shipping is so expensive nowadays. And so I think that Poshmark made those changes with regards to their shipping to compete, really. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they made changes because they feel like they have to compete price-wise, and the customer, the Poshmark customer, like every other customer, is quite price sensitive right now? I think it definitely has to do with price sensitivity for sure. I mean, there's definitely more. I'm sure as a seller, you've noticed the price sensitivity that we've been experiencing of late, right? A lot of price sensitivity with customers. And so I get it. Like, I get the need to have a better shipping rate. I totally get it. But, you know, it's tough because you're reliant on USPS and their Grand Advantage. And, you know, you read things about USPS. I don't know if you guys saw the latest article about, I think it was in Value Added Resource, and it was about USPS and like a pending bankruptcy or just some major upheaval. It's concerning. It's concerning. Just a little bit concerning. The more I hear about the things happening with USPS, and you know, it really could impact online selling, right? If we don't have a way to ship consistently and cheaply, and we're competing with the Amazons of the world, right? So we'll see what happens with regards to ongoings with USPS. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. Make sure you're having a great day. Stay healthy, because I know that there is some kind of new flu going around, Superfluge K or something like that. So gosh, yeah, stay healthy and stay consistent. And whatever your word is for the month, if your word is consistency, right on. I'm right there with you. And I hope you're getting your mojo back. And we'll see you next time on Treecat Chat. Mahalo.